So today we'll see a couple of interesting topics like access control list, alerts, and getting the backup and snapshot, data recovery and snapshot. So again, these are the security aspects of Hadoop. So the first topic which we're going to talk about is access control list, ACLs, access control list, enabling the access controls. Second, then we'll talk about the alerts, managing the alerts and everything, managing and creating the alerts. And the third, we'll be talking about data recovery and snapshots. Basically, will be interested in these snapshots. Okay. So for that, the first and the foremost, let us go here. And to enable the access control list, you need to first if you want to use the access control list, you need to first enable the access control list. Okay, so you have to go to HDFS, then go to configs. Inside the configs, you are actually going to change. You are going to check out the property for the ACLs. DFS dot what is the property name? DFS dot HDFS dot not DFS dot ACLs, I believe. DFS dot name node dot ACLs dot enabled. Why it didn't come with the ACLs when I've given? DFS dot.
Your voice is a bit low. Could you be a bit more audible if you don't mind?
I don't know. I'm looking at my.
Hello?
1 minute.
Yeah.
Let me know if it is okay. Hello.
Yes, Som. It's better. Very good now.
Okay. So now we are going to look out for this property DFS dot name node dot ACLs. Oh, great. We have to actually add this property. Correct. So we have to actually add this property. This property is not present here. So what we need to do, we need to go to configs, and then we go to custom hdfs-xml, custom hdfs. So this is the first time you are actually adding a property, which is not here. So you go here and click on the add property, and here add the value as dfs dot name node dot acls dot enabled, and the value would be true. Let me just confirm that dfs dot name node dot acls dot enabled, and the value as true. Add the property, save it. Okay, once you have saved, now what we do here, now that's first thing which we have to do when we have to enable the ACLs. Let me just check this property dfs dot dot acls dot enabled. Okay, great. And we have changed what? We have changed the ACLs enabled. it will ask you to what did you change in the configuration. You say ACLs has enabled, save it, and go back. Okay, saving the configuration, and then it will ask you to restart the services. You actually restart it. Restart all affected here. It's okay. Go ahead. So here you have to remember this property. That's your dfs.nameNode.acls.enable. So that you actually go to the custom hdfs site.xml and you have to add the property over there. Once you add the property, once you change anything, it will ask you, it will prompt you, Ambari will prompt you to restart the services. That's what we are doing. And once it is done, then we can actually use the set facl, get facl commands to set the ACLs on particular folders, right? So we can so there are only three ACLs, if you remember. You have a users, you have a groups, and you have others. So how to use that ACLs, use for the user, for the group, and the others, that's what we are going to see. But that's what we'll see now. Okay, so once the, let's see what we have to do. And so it's pretty much straightforward if you see the commands here. So what you are trying to do in this particular command. So here in this example, in the very first example, what we are seeing, we are taking the we are setting the ACL recursively. That says recursively minus m. That's your, this is your modification. What you are doing, user, who is the user, and what is the permission. So it's always follows this particular convention. You have a user, or you can have other. You can, it can be a group, or it can be other, colon, what is it you want to do. For user, what is the user. For group, what is the group. For others is generally blank, because others means what you don't know, right? So and then you provide the read, write, execute permission for each of those. You have to give one by one. So for user you have to give like this, then actually for a group you will give like this, for for others you will give like this. It has restarted. Okay, I, if I want, I can restart this yarn. uh, okay, let us restart all affected. Let me map reduce also, let me restart. But generally that is not going to affect me anymore, right? So ssh minus I, ssh minus I, pin, and the user. So sudo, okay, so first and the foremost, okay, sudo I have to do a k-init first, right? Since our cluster is curverized, I will not be able to do anything right now. So first let's see that hdfs dfs minus ls, whether it displays me whether it displays me anything or not. But if you see the exception, it says that gss initiate failed, which means that it's our cluster is curverized and this guy does not have the valid credential or does not have the valid ticket, which means. So, and how do I find it out whether it's a valid ticket or not? We run the command klist, and if the klist gives some output, then that means he has a ticket. But the klist does not give any ticket here, no credentials cache found. So I have to give k init to get a ticket, and then that will ask me the password which we have given, and the password which we have given is a training. And then we do a k list, then it gives us a ticket, and which has some validity for 24 hours. Once you have got the ticket, now if you do dhdfs dfs minus ls, it should give you an appropriate. And here, if you see here, right now ACLs, if I have employed the ACLs, right now these are the no ACLs. This is just a normal thing which you have given, that it is owned by user and everything. You have not set any ACLs. How do I find out whether any ACLs are there or not? So hdfs dfs minus get facl. Let me first figure out. Let me first see whether get facl command is there or not in the hdfs dfs. How do we generally find it out? We just say hdfs dfs and run the command, and that should give us set facl. If you see here, can you see my screen?
Yes, Om.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I have one question. See, we have the user, the permissions on the file and directories in the output, right? Read dot execute. So they are not the part of ACL. Actually, I was under the impression that those, because that also forms a part of ACL, right?
Those are a
Read
part.
dot execute.
Those are also part of FS. Those are part of also ACLs, but actually those that will not be applicable until. So if you want to make sure that ACLs are applied, right? So you have to tell the hdfs that any other users who are coming other than this, you actually apply the acls on the files and the folders. Now here here now ec2 user is the only group which you know, right? But you can have a several groups. You can have create one group,
Yeah.
and then you can have several users like this, correct? And then you add the group, but that will be manual processes for doing all those activities. You have to say ch own or chgrp,
Yeah, yeah.
but you have to do that. But set facl is like a full command which you can actually, I mean to say, you can do that with the set facl. You set the user, you set the group, and then you play around with everything.
Okay. 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 Yeah.
Now let us see
Got
here.
it.
Yeah, let us also see. Right now, just now we have seen what is the command which we have figured. Set facl. What happened to my get facl? Okay, there will be get facl. And hdfs dfs, let us again go back here. Oh, very sorry. Dfs minus ls I wanted to do. Here read write execute, these are the various permissions. And let us see what is the permission on my home directory of my user. It's read write execute, and is there any acls are there or not? Minus get facl user ac2 user. So it says there, if you see user, okay, there are no user because it is not considering any user at all. So can you see that here? User, no user at all. Group, no group. Here other, anyone. So here empty, I'm not sure empty means everyone or not. But here user, there is no presence of user in anything. So if you want to actually set an facl on that particular user, so you actually go to sudo su minus hdfs dfs minus set facl minus m. Okay, let us see set facl, what does it do. So when you say set facl, and here you have a lot of, it's a Linux command, and okay, this is minus R stands for recursive, which I can tell you, and this is minus M is your ACL spec. That means what ACL you want to give, and path is the path, whatever the path you want to specify, and or set ACL spec. Okay, you can either give minus minus set ACL spec, or you can also give minus M L to X. Okay, minus M read write executes. Okay, ACL spec. So let's see that we can actually both, we can do both. Now set FACL minus recursive. Okay, minus M, I'm going to specify the user colon ec2 hyphen user colon, what is the permission, read write execute to my user ec2 user. Now would you, and now this guy can, you also wanted to do this activity by the ec2 user itself, right? So right now I'm the hdfs user, you might be tempted to do this exercise, but you will not be able to do it. The reason ec2 user does not have the permission. But let us see that, let us also verify. Should not have any permission, should not be able to do it. Okay, because user ec2 user we have given this, I'm very sorry, because already this directory is used by your is owned by ec2 user, that's why. But if it's something like this, for example, I have a Horton user. Okay, so how do you create the, how, let's say there is a let us take, there is a Horton user, and you want to create a home directory for the Horton user. How do you create it? Can you say hdfs dfs minus mkdir slash user slash Horton? Permission is denied because slash user, if you see this, it is owned by hdfs, right?
Yeah.
So you will not be able to do it. So first and foremost, you need to say sudo su minus hdfs, then you actually say hdfs dfs minus mkdir slash user slash Horton. And remember, we have an ldap user, ldap1 and ldap2,
Yeah.
right? So what we will do,
Yeah.
we will give an ldap user. So the authentication, oh sorry, the what do you say, the you permission to this particular Horton uh, to the ldap user, ldap1. Okay, so how do you do that? hdfs dfs minus set. Okay, let us exit first, sudo su minus ldap1 cat.
So,
Yeah,
this sudo su क्या करता है? Does it make it as a admin?
sudoers list, sudoers list ldap user one. I am actually if you see slash etc cat sudoers list cat etc, where is it, sudo vsudo cat etc sudoers,
Sudo से sudo.
sudo cat control a. So I don't have to give the password. If you see that here, sudo su minus, I don't have to give the password for this ec2 user because I have kept this guy in the sudoers list. So when I say sudo su minus, it will not ask me the password. It's a sudoers, but ldap user 1 is not a sudoer, so I have to say sudo ldap user 1. Password was ldap user 1, I believe. Yeah, it's an ldap user 1. Now I do a k list. There is no, okay, I don't have the k in it also. For this guy, I just wanted to show you that this guy cannot call the setfacl command because this does not have the permission. Okay, so it does not have a k list, so I can add it kadmin.local. Okay, sudo and I will say list at prink, right? At prink ldap. You don't have to worry about this what I'm doing. Okay, you don't have to worry about this. ldap user 1 password ldap user 1 only I'm giving. Okay. Exit, and then I say su ldap user1 switch user1, then I say k init ldap user1 k list. Okay, now I wanted to say hdfs dfs minus set fscl slash user slash Horton. I'm very sorry, not like this. This is a different command. I have to give set fscl minus m user colon ldap user1 colon read execute. LDAP user is not the owner of inode Horton, so that's the reason you actually go to sudo su minus hdfs and you run this command hdfs dfs. First get the fscl on user Horton, so no, there is no user, no group, others. So user group others. So what we'll do, we'll say hdfs dfs minus set fscl minus r minus m user colon, what is a user? I want to give ldap user1 colon, what do I do? A read write execute permission, and I'll give the directory as a user Horton. Let me see the get fscl on the same folder. It should show me user ldap user1 read write execute. I think minus m, it is not removing, so there's a uh, option to override this, should be there. Okay, let me just verify that later. So now what I'm going to do here is I'll exit from here. I'll go to su ldap user1 password ldap user1, and I'll say hdfs dfs, since he's the owner user of the directory, hdfs dfs minus mkdir user Horton my directory. And that's how he's able to do that, right? So that confirms that ldap user, since we have given the permission, now he can actually go and create the directory. So you have given the acls. Exit. Now let us go back again to our hdfs user sudo su minus hdfs, and let us say hdfs dfs minus set again fscl. You can always give minus m to the groups, minus m user group, and group could be, let's say, ldap user 2 comma, and he has only the read permission. See this, he has only the read permission on which directory? On user Horton directory. So he has the user Horton, right? So okay, let us see minus r, we will do it. So he has only the read permission, not the write permission. Let us do hdfs dfs minus get fscl Horton, the group is LDAP user 2 and the permission is read write, right? Okay. Now what we do here is exit from the user and sudo kadmin.local. I will add that user to my Kerberos at prink LDAP user 2, password LDAP user 2. That username is same as the password is same as the username. Exit su minus su LDAP user 2, password I believe LDAP user 2 itself I have given. Okay, then I get a K in it, get the ticket. The password I have given as the same as the username. I do a K list. Now let me see whether I should be able to do an hdfs dfs minus ls slash user slash Horton. Since he is able to read the permission, so you should see that no other LDAP user 2 is belongs to a group. Okay, in that group Horton 2 user is not permitted. It says that permission is denied for this particular user. I'm not sure because the reason here is we have added to this group, right? Set FACL. We have added this group. Actually, we are not working as a group. Actually it is taking as a user, and that's why if you see that here user LDAP user, this guy is not able to read this particular folder. So that also confirms that any other user who is not the owner will not be able to do anything, right? How do I now? Actually, I'm not sure that how do I actually. We have set a group to LDAP user 2. User is LDAP user 1. Horton, and here the group is LDAP user 2, and if I want to give this access to this guy, can I give multiple users, which actually says, right, I can give multiple users also. Minus set FACL minus m user LDAP user 2, only the read permission, not anything else, on user Horton. Correct now? Can you see that multiple users? Now is it not good? The very first thing, the very first question you have asked me, right, Vipin?
Yes, so yeah,
Now here you have two users who has different permissions. Now that was
yeah,
also one kind of an ACL which you have seen that, right? Ch mod ch on. If you see here,
yeah.
right, hdfs dfs minus ls slash sorry slash user I should do. See this hdfs, it is owned by hdfs, correct? But now we have set the ACLs,
Yeah.
and we know now that, and if you see the plus sign, which means the ACLs are enabled on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the plus sign indicates that ACL is enabled. And now if I go back to my so LDAP user 2 and now I do a read, user Horton, and since we have given the permission, it should be able to read it. LDAP user 2, we have given the permission, right? LDAP user 2, read permission, but it is coming as a group. No, it's a user is also here. LDAP user 2,
Read.
user Horton. Okay.
But where current user is EC2 dash user, right?
No, no, we are not. Current user is who am I? No, it's LDAP user 2.
LDAP user 2, yeah.
You should be able to access it.
Does it need to exit from the session?
No, no, it should be fine.
Yeah, it is showing now for you LDAP user 1, read, write, execute, read, write, read only.
Not sure why it is not working as DFS minus get FACL. No, set FACL minus set. Okay. Oh, maybe I have not given minus R minus M. I don't know where, I don't remember right now. User LDAP user 2. Let us see, read and execute. User Horton. This guy has changed. DFS minus ls user Horton. ACLs are enabled. It came up now.
Yes, maybe that we didn't do minus R.
Yeah, minus R we didn't do, right? Okay, so that confirms that this is how the ACLs are gonna work. So you just have to command set ACLs for setting the ACLs and get FACL for getting the FACLs. For minus M, you put say user and what the user and what the permission. Minus R is for your recursive. And the first thing, and the one thing which you have to remember is the dfs.nameNode.acls.enabled. You have to add it. Okay, in the Ambari, you have to add it to the custom SDFS site, custom SDFS start XML. Okay, that's one thing. And let us go to the what do I say? Let us go to the data backup and recovery. It's straightforward. It's just you need to create a snapshots. So it's basically how to create a snapshot of a directory. And why do we go for a snapshot? It's a very simple that you actually create a directory and you do a lot of operations, and then after some time that particular directory even you don't want to use, or but there can be some chances that someone is updating, someone is doing some operations, and once the directory you don't want it, you want the original one, you can actually bring it back. That's the first use case. The second use case could be someone is actually the data got tampered or data got corrupted, and you want back your original data. So what you do, you create a snapshot, and then once you want which is basically the original one, and once your job is done, you might want to get the original data back again. So how do you create a snapshot? Okay, you got the idea, guys?
Yes, so actually, I have one question here. Suppose I create a snapshot of one particular directory. So ideally, we should transfer that snapshot to some other machine. We won't keep it in the same machine. Is that correct?
Generally that snapshot, when it will be created, it will be under by a dot no, generally you will not create the same machine, because HDFS is a, it's a distributed file system, right? So okay, the idea here is something like this.
Because usually when we take the backup, I mean, we have the full data and we physically put it at some other location. Maybe my understanding might be then, no,
But
not.
that's not a distributed file system which you have. That might not be a distributed file
Yeah,
system, right?
yeah.
So here we are talking about distributed file system, wherein your data will be highly available at any given point of time. Data will never be disturbed. But what is the idea of having a snapshot is this. So you have a directory, let's say. In this directory, you have a lot of files. File 1, file 2, lot of files are there, file 3, right? Now this directory is important directory for you, and also this directory used by various MapReduce jobs. Let's say various job. This directory is used by various jobs, and so because of which new files are getting added, files, file n, file 10, whatever new files are getting added to this particular directory. But the original is this. The original is this. Okay, the original is this is the original, and this particular directory is used by various jobs, because of which you have lot of files getting added. Also someone came and deleted this file, some deleted this file too, and some files. So now everything is done. Now what you want, that you want your original data back. You want back your original data, which has file 1, file 2, file 3, and let's say file 4. That's it, without any modifications and all. Is that clear?
Yes, so
So what do you want to do? You basically, what do you do here? You create a snapshot of this directory, which is nothing but under this directory it will create a folder by name, some ID, some default ID text, or else you can also give the snapshotable directory name, which will be always with the dot and something, whatever the name you will give it, and this is a default ID, but if you don't give anything, and under that it will create its file 1, file 2, and file 3. You can create as many snapshots as you want. Okay, so this is basically now file 1, file 2, file 3. Now so this will have a dot in terms of it, so this directory never gets processed. So this directory, though it will be present in the same directory, but this directory will never be get processed. Okay, now so first and foremost, when you want to do this, you have to actually first make sure, let's say we will create, what we will do, Horton my directory, right? So we'll put our the XP data, or else we'll go to some other folder, EC2 user folder, and then under that we have some folders, right, already. So we will create the snapshot of those folders. Okay. Do we have a Shakespeare folder? Yes. Okay, we have a Shakespeare folder. Let's go inside that first. HDFS DFS minus LS. Your Shakespeare. Okay, so under Shakespeare, I have a comedies, glossaries, poems, tragedies. So first and foremost, I want to create a snapshot, right, of this directory. So first, you need to actually allow the snapshot here on this particular folder. You cannot just get the snapshot. Okay, if you just say HDFS DFS create snapshot Shakespeare. So if you just create the snapshot of this particular Shakespeare folder, it will say the directory is not a snapshotable directory. So first you need to make a snapshotable. This directory has to be snapshotable, and also see the timestamp also 14.4, right? 14.4 14.4. Because the timestamp is important when you want to get back this snapshot. First, let us see 14.4 is the snapshot. Okay, timestamp. Keep that thing in mind. I will keep I'll copy it. So first we need to make that particular directory as a snapshotable. Sudo su minus hdfs dfs admin. Allow snapshot hdfs dfs admin minus allow snapshot user ec2 user and the Shakespeare. Was it Shakespeare or something else?
Shakespeare only.
Yeah. Allowing snapshot succeeded. Exit it. Okay. Now as you say hdfs dfs minus create snapshot Shakespeare. So can you see that it has created a file by name dot snapshot, and inside that it has this particular folder, right? You can see that. Let us go inside that folder. HDFS. So what you have done is HDFS DFS minus LS Shakespeare. It's not visible. Can you see that?
So maybe minus A. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe A one continuity.
A. It will not. Will
Yeah.
it work?
A is usually for hidden, no?
Yeah, but LS
Sorry.
will not, right? LSA is not there.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Yes.
So you actually you can directly go like this dot snapshot. Can you see that here? So inside you are right
Yeah.
now dot snapshot, and then under dot snapshot you have with this particular folder. Um, this is your default ID, and inside that you will have your um, what do you say, your comedies, glossaries, histories, poems, tragedies file. Okay, that's one way. You can always say you can always say create snapshot, my snapshot, my new snapshot. So what you are doing here, you are actually giving your snapshot name. And if you want to do that same exercise, ls under dot snapshot, so you'll have two snapshots, my snapshot and ls snapshot. Sometimes you want to find out how many snapshotable directories are there for this user. So you actually run this command hdfs dfs. There's one command where you can see ls snapshotable directory. Okay, this is normal thing. hdfs ls snapshotable dir. Okay, so it says that only one directory is snapshotable, which is Shakespeare, right?
So actually, I have one question in this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, does it create the actual, see, when we create the snapshot,
Mm-hmm.
uh, does it literally copy all the contents?
Yes, of course.
What is currently in?
Yeah,
So then why cannot we simply use the copy command like, uh,
you can use the copy command, but here it does the same thing for you. But what it is doing, you can do the same thing. You can keep two redundant copies and everything and all. It's doing that actually for you, but only
okay,
at the provision of that it is hidden for you. No one can access it. No one knows it.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want anyone to know it
Actually,
also.
yeah, actually, I was under one more impression I had, like, so a snapshot is a kind of data backup, right?
Hmm.
So actually, I was under the impression usually when we take a backup of anything, we copy it to some other medium,
Hmm.
so that if medium A fails, we still have the data on medium B. So
Hmm.
that's not the case of
Here, if one machine,
snapshot.
no, but here one machine goes down, your data is another machine, right? Your data is not lost at
Machine,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, so because HDFS
Okay,
replicates it. Yeah. Now,
okay, yeah, yeah, makes
now
sense.
let's say HDFS DFS minus LS. Let us remove some folders. So I have HDFS DFS minus RM. I have deleted this file. I have deleted glossaries. I want my data back now, right? I want my data back. Um, so what do you do here? You okay? So let's say what you do HDFS DFS minus CP Shakespeare slash dot snapshot slash my new snapshot slash what comedies file, right? Comedies and to Shakespeare. I'll just copy that because comedies file has deleted. I want back my original file. SDFS DS minus LS Shakespeare, and can you see this? The timestamp has changed. No, it was previously the timestamp was this one 1333 14 April. Now it is 15th May. That it's right now. It's the date right now. This one, this date, 1350, correct? But if you want to preserve the same timestamp, so what you need to do is minus CP. When you're copying it, you actually need to give this option PTPOX. So this is the use of this option pt opax, which what it does, it maintains the it preserves the timestamp. And I will do comedies with the com1. The name should be the com1. And but for this to work, you have to actually go and change the value of some property. Oh, Shakespeare, you have to it will not rename it the same name. Okay. Okay, glossary. Let me just see that. um, Let me remove that rm. Remove comedies. Remove comedies. And what is this option? Minus cp pt opax. Very sorry. Okay, I thought that was a reason, right? So it was a minus p. So first let me bring up that same thing, that comedies, and I can put another name also. That was I was thinking. Shakespeare comedies was not there. Minus ls Shakespeare. It's already exist. How come you've just deleted? No. Hadoop dfs minus rm Shakespeare slash comedies. Ls comedy is gone. It's there. Comedy is not there. Okay. What we want to see here is the timestamp concept. That if you do a normal CPA from the snapshot, it will not preserve the timestamp. But in case if you want to preserve the timestamp, you have the option. So you have the option of PTPOX. Control A minus PTPOPT PTOPAX, and you give the name as com1 cm1. So this has to be changed. That it says that access time for HDFS is not configured. Please set DFS dot name node dot access time dot precision so to some configuration parameter. So that's basically you need to set the value to some R's. So let's go HDFS configs. Here give the property name, and the access time precision is 0. So give the value, the default values on R's. So uh,
What's the meaning of this room? Actually, I didn't understand
it's
this.
just, it's just to preserve the
Why
time,
we're doing this?
just to preserve the timestamp.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you're doing the copy operation to preserve the timestamp, so 3600 is for 1 hour. So to preserve the timestamp, you actually do this. You're telling the HDFS to maintain the time. Access time provision. Okay, save it. Okay, and let us now do this. Whether let us see the CM2. and the CM2 should have the same timestamp. What happened? Do I need to restart my machine or what? Oh yeah, restart. Sorry, not machine. The HDFS processes needs to be restarted. So we are restarting, and after the restarting, if we run that command, it should work. To see what is this Hadoop FS minus ls it gives here. Okay, so they are not. So if you see that the last two commands, they have not been a timestamp. Now once it's okay, let it complete, and then once it is done, we should run that command, and we should see the timestamp of the previous one, the one which we have created at the time of snapshot. Okay, so it is done. CM3. And the CM3 has preserved the timestamp. Right? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's how,
23 years.
yeah, so that's how we actually create the snapshot, work with the snapshot, and you can also delete the snapshot. Okay, and then you can delete with the name itself. You can see that. So you actually want to delete the my snapshot, you can actually go and delete the snapshot with whatever the name you have wanted to give, whatever the name under the folder. So for example, I wanted to hdfs dfs minus, okay, let me say minus delete snapshot should be there. Rename snapshot is there. I cannot fit delete. Yeah, delete snapshot directory. You have to give the snapshot directory and the snapshot name which you want to delete. So dfs minus delete snapshot. The snapshot directory was the um, Shakespeare.
80s.
Shakespeare was the
Dot.
snapshot directory, right? And the snapshot name was the my new snapshot. My new snapshot, and that should delete my the snapshot. But how do I check it? I can check it hdfs dfs minus ls Shakespeare. Under that we have a dot snapshot folder, right? And that
Yeah.
should the spelling is wrong here. So it should not show me the my new snapshot folder, right? It is showing the one which is one created default. Okay, so that completes the data backup and recovery. And the last bit is very simple here, that how to manage the alerts. Okay, so we'll talk. Okay, let us cover the alerts as well, because alerts are like whatever you see on the Ambari UI. So you see a lot of alerts sometimes, right? So actually the alert section is on the top, and you can create your own alerts as well. Let us go back, let us go here, alerts. So these alerts are actually grouped in groups. If you see groups here, so here you have all 63 groups. Okay, sorry, all you have Ambari. Oh, sorry, I think Ambari default. All how many alerts are total there basically? Ambari default has three alerts. HDFS default 35. Kerberos, Knox, MapReduce. So these are the various alerts which has been there. HDFS default, if you see, so right now I am right now seeing all, right? And now I wanted to see only the Ambari default. I click on the Ambari default alerts. So it says that alert definition name Ambari agent alert delete agent heartbeat, host disk usage, Ambari server alerts. Okay, let me just go to HDFS default. Yeah, and here I would like to. There are how many alerts? 35 alerts are here. I want to actually look out for HDFS disk capacity, and I'll click on the HDFS, and this is the um, storage HDFS capacity utilization, and I want to actually the change the interval. Okay, it is right now the check interval. It is 2 minutes, and the warning is 80%. I can change it. Let me change the edit here. You can go to edit, and I want to change the check interval to 1 minute. Every 1 minute it should do that. Thresholds and warning should be, it should be give critical is 90%. Warning I wanted to give 70%, and I say save. So this is how you can do it, and I mean how you can change the interval. That's your logging interval. I have after how much of time it will check, what is the time it will check, right? So this is HDFS capacity utilization. So you go to alerts page. So you have all the Ambari default, Ambari metrics, HDFS default. So it will, so you need to know which where which alerts you are looking out for. They have been grouped. Now you can create your own alerts as well. So manage alerts too. So I'll click on my alert groups here. For example, I want to manage, okay, I can create an alert group by name. So, and here I would like to add the alert definitions to my group. For example, I create few of these things, data node health summary. Okay, so in SOM 3 you can see that I have created few alerts here. So this is my group, and I have added few alerts here. I want to sorry, I want to add, what happened? Is it, does it gives to me to add only one time? That's not giving me anything.
Yeah.
Okay, delete the alert group. I don't require any. Okay, let me delete my alerts. It gave it for the first time. I don't know why. You cancel.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me say actions, manage alert group. Okay, my alerts, save. I'm not sure why it's not giving some bug or something like that. Zero alert. I don't know. Don't know.
Okay.
So actually, you can create your own alerts and then you can add your own notification here. You can click on this notification. There should be some way here. The notifications, manage notifications. I don't know. There nothing is coming up now.
Yeah.
New notification name, my notification, and you can say cust. If you want to give all, it will select all the alerts here. But if you want to say only, I want to select here, map reduce. I want to select only these two. The warning should I it should give me critical, and then you want to say method email and email to Shekhar2581 at gmail.com. But I don't have an SMTP server, right? So I don't know how the email has to be sent via your SMTP server and everything. I don't have it, but it's okay. I can save it. If you have, you can change it and close. That's all. You have actually do this, manage notifications, manage alert groups and everything. Okay, so that's all regarding the alerts. That how do you actually see the alerts? All the alerts are grouped into various categories, which you know:
Okay.
Ambari defaults, HDFS default, Kerberos, Knox, MapReduce, Ranger. The more and more service you will add, the more and more default alerts are there, which you can actually use them, right? And you can change. You can click any of the alerts. You can enable it. You can disable it, and you can do whatever you want. The state is enabled here. You want to disable it, so you can disable this alert as well. You want to change the logging interval, you go and change the logging interval. You want to change some warning criticals, you can do that as well. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, the okay, so that's all for today, guys, and I'll give you tomorrow the last couple of information about the administrator. So we are done with our administration. All the topics related to administrations are completed by today, and tomorrow I'll tell you
Okay.
a few important things of how to practice and what all things needs to be done and all. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. That will be great. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.